Hi, my name is Justin Grose. This is my worship service observation project for World Religion 1101. And what I chose was Buddhism for my religion, for my worship service observation. It's something that I've always been interested in, and now that I got the chance to do it, I went ahead and found a Buddhist temple near me. I chose the Buddhanara Temple in Beaufort, Georgia, and it was pretty interesting. Actually, when I first went there to talk to the woman about the monk, I should say, about when I should be able to come, she didn't seem very welcoming, so it was kind of intimidating for me. But the grounds were beautiful. There's a lake out back. They had all these beautiful plants and stuff outside, and she was actually attending to the plants when I came there. She seemed very busy, so she told me to come back 2 Sundays from that date, and I could observe their Thanksgiving, their like gratitude sermon. It's the Buddhist Thanksgiving, and I'm glad I got to go see that one because it was very, very interesting. So when I first got there, I had to take my shoes off and all this stuff, and they began the service by meditation, and she had one of the people in there had one of those singing bowls that they were rubbing on, and that was pretty cool. And we just sat there in silence for a little bit until it was probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes. I really don't know. And then they began their chants and their mantras, and she told me this when I went to go speak to her. She was like, "This is a good service for you to come to because we were going to do some chanting and some meditation, and you'll get to like have the full Buddhist experience kind of deal." And it was very cool. We all sat on the ground and sat there, and I felt kind of awkward because it was a Korean Buddhist temple, and so everything was in a different language. But anywho, once the service was over, we all sat around. She made some tea, and it was very peaceful. I got to walk around outside and explore the grounds, and the grounds are gorgeous. She takes very good care of the grounds as part of her faith and practices. She believes that in Buddhism everything has a soul basically, and everything should be treated as such. So I got to, there was one dude there that spoke pretty good English, so I chose to interview him, and I had a few questions for him. The first was, what is the goal of meditation? And he told me, and I was having it right pretty fast. From what he told me, it was to quiet the mind, open yourself up to your inner wisdom, and in order to understand yourself without exterior blockages, and tackle your inner demons and understand them and working through them peacefully is what he told me, which is pretty cool. I figured, I know meditation as a white Westerner was just to try to relax. You know what I mean? It's just I knew it was like to calm the mind, but it made sense to me that after researching a little bit. We did Buddhism this week, so after researching Buddhism a little bit, it's more or so to like tap into that guy in that video. You remember he was doing that? To like tap into leave the body but not exit this world. It's just a place where silence exists, and there's no thoughts, there's no nothing. It's just you're just there, you're just being, which is pretty profound to me because I'm not very good at meditation. I've tried it. So anywho, and then I asked, what's the point of the chants? They're chanting their mantras that they say especially during Thanksgiving, and he said the point of the chants is they offer devotion. And he told me that it builds a sense of oneness when they're all chanting the same thing. It's pretty cool. It's to connect to Buddhist teachings because a lot of the mantras have, there are scriptures, they're Buddhist scriptures, and so the more that you chant them, the more that you say them, the more that you know them, the more you understand them. And he said it also helps to quiet the mind, which was true. When they were in there chanting, I was just like, it was kind of like surreal feeling, because they were all, it just felt surreal. And then I asked him what the meaning is behind the Buddhist Thanksgiving, and he told me about a word. It was called dana, and it's gratitude and giving. And it says we help focus on being connected, but it also helps steer away from attachment, and it also helps build compassion, which is weird to me because you steer away from attachment and build compassion. It's kind of, it's kind of contradictory to one another. But I guess I'm not Buddhist, I can't quite understand it. But it was very interesting the way that he put that. Is steer away from attachment and build compassion, because in my mind I feel like you need to be attached to something to show compassion, but I guess you really don't, which is also another profound thing about Buddhism. It's everything and nothing. So then I asked what was his favorite part about this specific temple, and he told me the nature, the openness to people like me, just curious about the teachings of Buddhism. The monk in there, I wish I had written down her name, I forget. She's very open to outsiders. You don't have to be a devout Buddhist to come in there. You could just be curious, or you could just be doing a school project. And then he said it was one of the greatest sources of peace in his hectic life, because he worked in finance, and he said, I'm on the phone all day, I'm talking, people are yelling at me because of their finances, and then I come here and I'm able to quiet the mind and find peace and recharge for the next week. So that's pretty cool. And then he told me the tea, which I will vouch, like the tea was good. And then I asked him, what does it mean to be Buddhist to him? And then he said, of course, what the main teaching of Buddhism is that like suffering is life. It will happen, and learning how to deal with this fact in a peaceful way. So it's just like, he told me you can get mad and you can act out in anger, or you can get mad and search within as to why you're mad and work through that in a peaceful, productive way to where it won't cause you any detriment. And it said hopefully one day, he says he doesn't think he'll achieve enlightenment in this lifetime, but it'll lead him to his future life into, getting that much closer to enlightenment. Anyway, so I asked him what was one thing, like one, I guess, soundbite, if you will, that he could leave me with. I was like, tell me something cool that inspires you to, be like what's one thing that I can take away from this? And he told me that, and I wrote this down word for word. He said, true knowledge is understanding that we understand nothing. And I was like, oh, dang. So like, I was left with like, it was a kind of a profound experience for me, because I've always been, like I said, I've always been interested in Buddhism, and getting to see it firsthand, not on TV and not read about it. It was pretty cool. It was a very peaceful thing, but there's also these Buddhists, they especially the monks, they devote their lives to this idea of enlightenment and becoming like the Buddha and quieting, that inner mind. And I feel like that takes a lot of work and a lot of passion for what you're doing. And so all in all, I might go back and figure out more things about this religion, because it was very cool, and I did leave feeling peaceful. So yeah, there's my project. I hope y'all enjoy.